Good morning. It's Monday, February 1st, and the snow is on the ground, and I'll have to do some shoveling after I finish this rant. And the stock market has been going crazy the last couple of days, with all the short trading in GameStop and the hedge funds and the amateur Reddit investors going back and forth and fighting on the stock exchange, so to speak. And some people making lots of money and some people losing lots of money. And one of the hedge fund managers of a hedge fund called Melvin was down an awful lot of money because he bet that GameStop was going to go kaflooey. That's a good word, kaflooey. And then the amateur investors took over and they started buying GameStop when the price was cheap and it rose. And then the Mets owner, Steve Cohen, who was hailed as a hero in New York for buying the team from the Wilpon family, who were pathetic owners. And they pissed away a lot of money in the Madoff scheme. So in any event, Steve Cohen came to the rescue of his protege, Gabe Plotkin, who was running the Melvin Fund. And Steve Cohen's fund, which also lost money in the GameStop shuffle, but not like Melvin, they gave Gabe Plotkin $750 million to bail him out of the situation that he had put himself in. And what people don't even realize is that another hedge fund gave Melvin $2 billion to bail him out of the situation. So Steve Cohen wasn't the only one that was helping a friend. And this upset the leaders of Reddit. And they threatened Steve Cohen's family on Twitter. And you can do anything on Twitter. So they threatened his family on Twitter. Now, we're not really sure if Cohen ever advocated the short-selling positions that the Reddit raiders were against. But because he was a friend of Gabe Plotkin at Melvin, they made him a target on Twitter. They started threatening his family. Now, one of the people who was particularly upset with Steve Cohen was Dave Portnoy, who's the founder of Barstool Sports. And he had several heated exchanges with Cohen on Twitter, very angry at Cohen because Robinhood, a small trading app, began restricting purchases in the GameStop stock. And somehow or other, they blamed Cohen for instigating that stoppage. Of course, Cohen denies that, and who knows what really happened. But I could see that some very large hedge funds could have put pressure on the appropriate people to sort of restrict Robinhood's activities. Now, Robinhood said that it had not acted under pressure from outside entities. And it turns out that Robinhood was having some money problems at that particular time. Robinhood didn't have enough cash to cover the trading activities of its customers. So I don't know whether the Reddit raiders really knew about Robinhood's so-called situation with the cash. I think they were just venting at Steve Cohen and his family because they were upset that he stepped in to save his buddy. And anyhow, Cohen was disgusted with the Reddit raiders and their leader, Dave Portnoy, and so he tweeted to Dave, "What's your beef with me? I'm just trying to make a living like you, and I'm happy to take this offline." So that's kind of like a threat, too. Well, and Portnoy answered him with some snappy little remark like, "At least we're speaking, and you're trying to give me a decent answer, and I appreciate that." But then Steve Cohen figured he probably had enough. He didn't need to go through this crap. and he canceled his Twitter account. And Steve Cohen really liked that account. He liked interfacing with Met fans on the account, on the Twitter account. Which I guess is one of the good things about Twitter, is that anybody can talk to anybody. But anyhow, in the end, Steve Cohen acted like a mensch, and he put out a statement that said, I have really enjoyed the back and forth with Met fans on Twitter, which was unfortunately overtaken this week by misinformation unrelated to the Mets that led our family getting personal threats. So I'm going to take a break now, and we have other ways to listen to your suggestions, and I remain committed to doing that. I love our team. I love this community. I love our fans, who are the best in baseball. Well, they probably have to be the best in baseball if they stuck with the Wilpons and the Mets all these years. So anyhow, that's pretty much the story of Steve Cohen and the threats. I think it's worth talking about. It's a New York episode. The man came in and bailed out a lot of baseball fans, and we got to give him credit for that. And hopefully many of my friends who are Met fans will have some pleasure in their lives this summer. That is, if we ever get to play baseball again. All right. I'm going to leave you with that, and I'll see you tomorrow in the morning. Bye.